You're broke, behind on rent, and have no clear direction. That's exactly where Sara Blakely, a struggling salesperson in her late 20s, found herself in 1998. But in a matter of 2 years, she would transform her idea into a billion-dollar empire, SPANX, a name that's now synonymous with shapewear. How did she go from selling fax machines door-to-door to becoming the youngest self-made female billionaire? Sara grew up in Clearwater, Florida. Her childhood? Pretty ordinary. Her father, a lawyer, taught her one important lesson: failure isn't the end. Every week, he'd ask at dinner, "What did you fail at this week?" This mindset planted a seed. Failure was just a step towards growth. After college, she dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but her LSAT scores were too low. Instead, she took a job at Disney World as a character in a Goofy costume. After leaving Disney, she landed a job selling fax machines. Imagine cold calling 8 hours a day, getting doors slammed in your face. But Sara had grit, and those rejections built her resilience. One day, preparing for a party, Sara realized she hated how her outfit fit. Her white pants showed every line of her underwear. Desperate for a fix, she cut the feet off a pair of control-top pantyhose and wore them underneath. It wasn't perfect, but it worked, and more importantly, it sparked an idea. What if there was a product that smoothed out problem areas but wasn't as bulky or uncomfortable as traditional shapewear? Sara didn't have experience in fashion or manufacturing, but she started researching. She called hosiery mills across the US pitching her idea. She was rejected over and over again. Most of them laughed, saying, "This isn't how things are done." After months of no's, one mill owner decided to take a chance. Why? His daughters thought the idea was genius. Sara used her life savings of $5,000 to create her first prototypes. But she didn't stop there, she also needed a name. She wanted something catchy, so she chose SPANX, a cheeky name that would stick in people's minds. With her prototype ready, Sara approached department stores, but no one was biting. Finally, she met a buyer at Neiman Marcus. Sara didn't just talk about her product, she showed its value. In the middle of the meeting, she excused herself, went to the bathroom, and put on her SPANX. When she returned, she showed the buyer the difference. That bold move? It worked. Neiman Marcus agreed to stock SPANX in 7 stores. Next, she needed buzz. Without a marketing budget, Sara sent samples to Oprah Winfrey's stylist. Oprah loved SPANX and featured them on her show as one of her favorite things. That endorsement changed everything. Overnight, SPANX became a household name. As SPANX grew, Sara stayed involved in every detail. She designed the packaging herself, choosing bright red to stand out on shelves. Her innovation didn't stop at shapewear. She kept launching new products, from leggings to bras, all with comfort and confidence in mind. By 2012, Sara was on the cover of Forbes as the youngest self-made female billionaire. But she didn't let success go to her head. Sara pledged to donate half her wealth to charity and launched programs to support female entrepreneurs. Sara Blakely turned $5,000 and a wild idea into an iconic brand. Her story proves that you don't need connections, experience, or even a business degree to succeed. You just need resilience, creativity, and the courage to take that first step. What's your wild idea waiting to happen? Let me know in the comments below. The world of social media thrives on illusion, carefully crafted perfection designed to impress, not connect. But amid the noise, a revolution quietly began. An app that doesn't celebrate followers or filters but demands authenticity. This is Be Real, the app that dared to defy the rules and brought reality back into a digital world obsessed with appearances. From a tiny French startup to a global phenomenon, this is the story of how 2 visionaries sparked a movement that's forcing us all to face the truth unedited and undeniable. Be Real started in 2020, founded by 2 French entrepreneurs, Alexis Barriot and Kevin Perrault. Their mission? To combat the performative, often fake nature of social media by creating an app that encourages authenticity. Unlike other platforms that celebrate perfection, Be Real focused on the everyday, the mundane, and the unfiltered. It was an ambitious idea in a world obsessed with highlight reels. Here's how it works: once a day, at a random time, BeReal sends a notification to its users. You have just 2 minutes to take and share a photo of whatever you're doing at that exact moment, no filters, no retakes. The app captures 2 photos simultaneously, one from your front camera and one from the back, creating a snapshot that's as raw and honest as it gets. In 2022, BeReal's growth exploded, especially among Gen Z, who were tired of the polished perfection of other platforms. By 2023, the app had become a global phenomenon, with users across Europe, the US, and beyond. What made BeReal different wasn't just its concept, it was the community it built. People loved the feeling of intimacy and spontaneity, knowing their friends were sharing the same moment in time, no matter where they were in the world. Of course, BeReal wasn't without its challenges. Critics dismissed it as a fleeting trend, questioning whether people would stick with an app that only lets you post once a day. But BeReal leaned into its simplicity. Unlike other platforms chasing algorithms and engagement, BeReal focused on fostering real connections, something people craved in an age of digital disconnection. The biggest question for BeReal was, how do you monetize authenticity without ruining it? Instead of bombarding users with ads or sponsored content, BeReal explored partnerships and subscription features to maintain its core values. And the result? A sustainable business model that didn't compromise the user experience, proving that profit and purpose can coexist. BeReal's success sent shockwaves through the social media world. Competitors like Instagram and Snapchat rushed to copy its features, introducing their own real moments. But BeReal had something those giants didn't: the trust of users who wanted something genuine. The rise of BeReal isn't just about an app, it's about a shift in how we connect. It reminds us that sometimes, less is more. That authenticity beats algorithms. And that the best moments aren't always picture perfect, they're the ones you don't expect. BeReal's journey proves that even in a crowded market, a simple idea can change everything. Will it stay on top? Only time will tell. What do you think of BeReal's approach to social media? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Breakthrough Biz for more incredible stories of innovation and success. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. And she always gave Ingvar the courage to make bigger moves, like when he borrowed around 600 kronor so that he could import 500 Parisian fountain pens. And now that he was a natural salesman, he made his biggest profit yet. However, Franziska's influence on Ingvar was not all positive. You see, Franziska came from a German state called Sudetenland, which after World War I, became part of Czechoslovakia. But Franziska was a German who did not feel identified nationally with Czechoslovakia, so the happiest day of her life was actually when Nazi Germany annexed Czechoslovakia in 1938. From Franziska's point of view, the Nazis were reuniting Germans with Germans, so they were like saviors to her. Unfortunately, Franziska was so passionate about the Nazis that her Nazi regime hadn't come to light yet, so Ingvar was totally indoctrinated into Nazi ideology by his family. In his teen years, he even recruited a few friends into the Swedish Nazi Party, and later on, this would come back to haunt him. It was also in his teen years that Ingvar moved to a boarding school. He often struggled with his classwork, especially because he had dyslexia. But whilst at school, Ingvar was continuing his business by selling watches, pens, belts, and wallets to his schoolmates. This one-man operation was looking like a real business, so Ingvar figured, why not make it a real business? As a graduation gift, Ingvar's father gave him the money for the firm's registration fee, and so in 1943, the trading company IKEA was officially created. Ingvar was just 17 at the time, and the business had no physical shop, it was a simple mail-order company. Buying cheap goods and reselling them at a higher price, just like Ingvar had done all through his childhood. In fact, this tiny shed near his home is where he kept packages that were to be picked up for delivery. As for the name, that was pretty simple too. The I and K in IKEA stand for Ingvar Kamprad. The E stands for Elmtred, the name of the family farm, and the S stands for Agunnarid, the nearby village. So, how exactly did IKEA go from this shed to a billion-dollar business empire? Chapter 2, Changing the Game. In the first days of IKEA, Ingvar was as energetic as ever. He imported all the products that had sold well from his youth, like pens and watches, and then upgraded the business by adding even more products. IKEA was doing okay, but Ingvar's education still wasn't complete. Right after graduating, he began studying business and commerce, and his parents agreed to take over some of IKEA's workload for the time being. In business school, Ingvar was able to take his natural talent for entrepreneurship and fill in the gaps of the things he didn't know yet. For example, ever since his childhood, Ingvar had wondered why many products were so cheap to make, but so expensive to buy. He knew from experience that the manufacturing cost of a regular pen was less than 1 Swedish cent, but buying it from a grocery store cost 10 cents. It wasn't that one particular grocery store was just charging a massive premium. If that was the case, other stores would just lower their prices and steal their customers. Ingvar figured the problem was that most businesses focused all their efforts on efficient production and manufacturing, but very little effort was focused on distribution. Ingvar realized IKEA's success rested on how efficiently their distribution was set up, finding the most cost-efficient way to get products from factories to customers. After all, IKEA was importing the same products as everyone else, so the only way to get an advantage over the competition was simply to be a more efficient business. This was tough at first. All while running IKEA from a distance with the help of his family, Ingvar studied business, worked as a store clerk, and even did military training, so the business was anything but efficient, and Ingvar worked extremely long hours day and night. But after 5 years of this, Ingvar finally had the freedom to run IKEA full-time, and he wanted to go bigger.